Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We will also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 118 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run every single day out of the year this year, 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,250 miles within that time frame. Now, this is only my second year ever fully running. Within the first year running, I was able to run 1,001 miles, and I did that in 175 days out of the year in 2020. So this is a 25% step up in the amount of miles and a 100% step up in the amount of days I'll be trying to run. I am also challenging myself to run in my first ever official 50K trail race this June, so in about a month coming up. That is in Yankee Springs, Michigan. Really looking forward to that. I think that will be the biggest challenge, is going out running 30 miles and then getting out the next day and still being able to put in just a mile or whatever the case may be. But I think that will be the hardest challenge, is running after these big race days. I will also be running my first officially timed marathon at the Detroit Free Press Marathon. Last year, I was supposed to run it, but they canceled it because of COVID. So I went and ran my own marathon just by myself. Actually, I ran it with my buddy, Joe, but we just ran it by ourselves. We didn't do a virtual one like through them or anything. We just kind of timed ourselves. We just went out and ran. I was able to finish that within 5 hours and 22 minutes. So this will be my first officially timed marathon. Really looking forward to it. Hoping to shave about an hour to an hour and a half off that 5 hours and 22 minutes. Was really hoping to do 4 hours within the first one I ran that was unofficially timed last year. I was going for 4. Didn't happen. This year, again, I'm going to try to hit 4 hours. The 5 hour and 22 mark, I am going to try to hit with the 50K this race coming up here in June. So it's been a very exciting year so far. 118 days ran. We're pretty much through the winter. We have a few days here and there where it snowed, it's getting chilly, it rains or whatever, because we are in April. April showers bring May flowers. We all know that. So it's springtime. This is actually my weakest, not weakest, but summer will be my weakest point. It's going to be the hardest thing for me to actually try to get through. Humidity kills me. I am not a heat guy. I'm more of a cold guy, where if I'm cold, I can always add more layers. But if I'm too hot and I'm overheating, there's nothing I can really do. I'll have a heat stroke. That's how I feel. So I really don't like hot weather, but it's a good way for me to get out there and just improve and get better throughout the hot weather, is to just go out there and endure it. So that is the goal for this summer. But like I said, it's been a great journey. So much fun so far. 118 days got out there. So let's talk about miles. So for today, 118, I got out there and put out another 7 miles. So Sunday, today is a Wednesday. So this Sunday, 3 days ago, I put in 8 miles. Monday I put in 9.3. Yesterday I put in 7. Today I put in 7. I'm just going to town. I'm trying to go for a PR for the end of the month here. The most I've ever put in a month. I already have the PR, but I'm going for a specific number. We'll talk about that here in a second. So I put in 7 again. So that put me at 23.3 miles for the week, 3 days into it. For those who followed along know that I try to do a bare minimum of 25 miles a week, and that is in order to hit the 100 miles for a month. And I kind of got that because I realized I'd have to average just over 100 miles in order to hit the 1250 mark for the year. So I try to do a bare minimum of 25 miles, but the goal is usually 33. So right now I'm sitting at 23.3, 3 days into it, just busting out these miles. And my legs are pretty dead and beat, but I'm still feeling pretty good, guys, honestly. So let's talk about month now. So every month I've challenged myself to the 100-mile challenge. And I do that in honor of different charities every month. I decided I want to try to raise money and start fundraisers every month for different charities and challenge myself to run 100 miles also in honor of those charities. So every month I've donated. I've ran 100 miles, and we've had other people donate as well. So we've raised money for the American Cancer Society in January, the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network in February. We raised money for Dolly Parton Imagination Library in March, and now we are raising money for Autism Speaks here in the month of April. The fundraiser will officially end in May, I think May 7th or May 8th, so donations can continue to be made until then. But we're closing in on the days, guys, and I think I am the only one that so far made a donation, which, hey, it is what it is. I get it. Times are tough. But if you guys can make any kind of contribution, please do it. It's only going to help out. Like I said, April is Autism Awareness Month, so we're trying to raise money for Autism Speaks, guys. It is a great charity, so let's try to get some money for them. Whatever you guys can donate, it goes a long way. $5, $10, $1, whatever. But if you can't donate it, we can't donate now. We get it. We understand. But if you guys, please, if you can't donate, at least share this fundraiser on your page, or even just share it in your story. You don't have to share it on your page if that's the case, but just share it so other people can see it, and hopefully other people will be able to make donations, and we can raise money and raise awareness throughout the year for all these different charities and fundraisers. Other than that, you can find the actual link to donate on the Defying Discipline Instagram, Facebook story, as well as my personal pages, Instagram and Facebook story. Post it there every single day. You'll see the link up at the very top of the story. It'll say donate on Facebook. Donate on Facebook. Click on it. Boom. Opens up a Facebook page where you can make your donations. That being said, though, we are sitting at 141.6 miles for the month. That is the highest amount of miles I have ever put in for a month, guys. I got 2 days left to put in more miles. This is the most I've ever put in 28 days. February this year was the most I ever put in a month, and that was 133.3 miles, and that was in 28 days. This is in 28 days, so now the new 28-day record is 141.6. But the goal for the month to finish out 30 days in is I really want 150. It just sounds so good. It sounds so perfect. So I am 8.4 away from that. Got to figure out how I'm going to split that up for these next 2 days. And we're going to talk about these next 2 days here in a second. For the year now, after today's run, I am sitting at 506.4 miles, guys. So we are across the 500 mile mark, and we are just watching these miles I have left. We're just watching them inch closer and closer together. It's awesome, guys. I'm really stoked. So other than that, let's just get right into today's episode. It's not going to be a long episode. It's going to be actually really quick, and you'll find out. So for today, episode 118, we are going to talk about schedule. Schedule is something that I never used to keep. I'm always awful at keeping. But anytime I have ever kept one or have attempted to keep one, it's only helped me out in the times I've tried to use it or have used it. The problem is it's one of those things where it's like a habit you have to build, where if you don't use it and you're not used to using it and you don't use it a lot, and you're not used to it, it's going to be hard to kind of adapt and build that second nature of just being able to get into a schedule and figure it out. But I want to talk about schedule also as in the purpose of work schedules, or just sleep schedule, or just something that you are set up and you know what's going to go on every single day, and how schedules have worked so many wonders for me. I used to work jobs where my schedule was very, it was all over the place. I sometimes have to be in at noon. I wouldn't get home until 2 a.m. Sometimes I have to be in at 4, sometimes 4 p.m. I wouldn't have to be home until 10 p.m. All over the place, weekends, midweek, everywhere. And when I was living that kind of life, I was always going out and partying and all that stuff too, so that could have had an effect on it. But my life just never I can just say I was always searching for something. I felt like I was never happy, I guess you could say. I was just always, I felt always lost, and something just didn't feel right. Something just didn't click. And then when I eventually stepped into my new job that was actually just set at a more scheduled, just a set schedule where I knew I was going in the morning, which was a tremendous game changer, guys. I know some people are night people and they think they love it and stuff. That, yes, that could be great. I get it. I used to do the same thing, but just being able to get up early in the morning and make it through the midday, and then just maybe 10, 11 o'clock go to bed and just do it all over again and be on a set schedule. Mentally, it just does so many wonders, and it just changes everything. That's all I can say, because I just never had a good schedule, and then once I started really staying on schedule and getting up early and having, knowing my hours and trying to plan things, everything just, my sadness and everything just felt like it was coming together, and I just felt less anxious and less anxiety from having a good kind of schedule set up where I know what was going on. Okay, now let's take it back now to the beginning of this year. I actually had gotten laid off yet again for COVID, so I hadn't been back to work since the 4th or 5th or something like that, since January. So I've had the pleasure and I've been grateful to be actually have this time off to spend with my daughter, and to really have the time to be able to put in all these runs and this time to focus on this stuff. But I did get called back today and tomorrow and the next few days. And then tomorrow and the next few days are actually really long days where it's conflicting in my running schedule, where I have to make up my mind of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to schedule it. So it's a little bit stressful, but it's also very it's relaxing at the same time, because I'm actually kind of really looking forward to try to get to these next few days. Isn't like a get up early and go to work kind of schedule. It's I gotta go. Actually, it's what I was just complaining about, going in later and staying super late until, until midnight or whatever the case may be. But it's just the idea that I'm gonna have to. I really need to get back into a set schedule of getting and staying up to a certain time, going to bed, and getting up, and just keep it really set. And I want to make sure that I keep my run schedule set. I've been doing a lot of night runs. I need to really try to schedule in and try to rotate and try to get some really early runs in, especially since this 50K is coming up. And I think it starts at like 5, 6 a.m. And I haven't been up at 5, 6 a.m. in like 2 months. So I really need to try to get back on this set schedule. So I think my work schedule, hopefully going forward, I know this week is a special week at work, so that's why the schedule is how it is. But just looking forward to getting a good set schedule together, and to really get back on waking up, going to bed, and trying to just stay within those lines. Now, that being said, I also know I'm going to have a big wrench thrown in that idea, because I do have a daughter now, which I am taking account for. So it's going to be not as easy as just going to bed and waking up when I want and getting the sleep I need. There's going to be times where I'm not going to, but the main thing is to try to stay on schedule, and have to try to sneak in the naps when I can. And that's going to be another challenge here coming forward, is when I start, when the schedules start coming in and I am working a lot more hours, doing overtime and stuff. I'm going to still have to figure out a way to be able to fit these runs in and the episodes in, and spend time with my daughter, my wife. So it's going to be a challenge. Looking forward to it. And it's all about scheduling and trying to stick to it, and stay vigilant with it, and just make sure. That's the thing I really got to do, is I really, this phone is so amazing where you can use all these apps and all this technology, but 90% of the time I'm using it to waste time with and not taking advantage of it. So I really want to try to use some of the calendar apps, some of the scheduling apps, and just really focus on organizing my time a little bit better. I think that's pretty much it, guys. So we're just gonna try to crank out some miles here tomorrow. I think I'm gonna go tomorrow morning. The idea was it's coming close to midnight here anyways, and I'm not supposed to work until 2 p.m. The idea is either stay up till midnight, past midnight, go for another run, even though I just did 7 miles. Go for another run after midnight, count it for tomorrow, and then do the same thing for the next day because the next day I'm doing the same thing. I'm gonna be working 2 to midnight, so these next 3 days will be 2 to midnights, and I want to make sure I'm getting runs in. I don't know if I want to try to get up early enough to get up, run, do the episode, and shower, eat, go to work, which, I mean, it seems like I should have plenty of time being 2 o'clock, but I like to wake up and take like an hour to an hour and a half before I even get up moving to go for a run. So it's just, I don't know. It's either that or I'm going to stay up and do the midnight thing. I'm most likely looking forward of just trying to get up early again. Like I said, the whole idea is trying to stick to a schedule. And the best way to do that is to get back on one. So I think that's going to be my actual plan of attack, guys. Why am I going to talk about scheduling and getting up early again and then talk about staying up past midnight and running again? Seemed like a fun challenge, but I think I'm going to do the latter and just try to go to bed here at midnight or maybe 1, 2, still get up at like 8 or 9, get out by 10, get home, depending on how many miles, I'm going to probably do 4 or 5, get home hopefully by 10:45, 11, shower, episode is 30 minutes, so it's another hour, noon, can eat, I guess I can probably do it as long as I get out by 10:30. So, well, that's probably going to be the plan of attack. Anyways, guys, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I do have to hurry up and try to get this uploaded because it's pushing 10 o'clock already. Did work today, didn't get home until midday, wasn't able to get out to the run till after I ate and all that stuff. So, just running a little bit late, a little bit hectic. So, I want to get this episode done out there, get ready for tomorrow. That being said, your daily discipline for the day is scheduling. Maybe you are a perfect scheduler, so I shouldn't, maybe you don't need any advice of scheduling or need to be more disciplined in your scheduling. But chances are, if you're watching this, you probably aren't very good at scheduling like me. Let's try to be good at scheduling. Try to maybe use your scheduling apps on your phone more instead of playing games or scrolling, whatever. Let's try to be more conscious of taking advantage of the technology that we have, and just try to schedule out your days better. Try to get on a good schedule. Maybe wake up early and go to bed at the same time. Set a good schedule and stick to it, and just try it. Okay, maybe you think I'm crazy or whatever, or you think it's a stupid idea, but if you are in the point of your life where you maybe feel lost, anxious, depressed, whatever the case may be, if there's just something where you just don't feel right and there's something not going on, not clicking, and you just don't know what it is, and you have a schedule like I was talking about, maybe just not a good set schedule. Maybe some days you're up early, but most days you're up late, whatever the case may be. Just try it for just 2 weeks or whatever, whatever. Just really try to get on a good set schedule for 2 to 3 weeks and just see how much of a difference that just makes and how you feel and everything. Your days will seem like they're so much longer. It's a good feeling, guys. So that is your daily discipline for the day. It is to try to really set a schedule and stick to it and start using more of your scheduling capabilities that you have with your phone, your computers, or even just a notepad, maybe a planner, whatever the case is. Try to start scheduling in more things and keeping to them. And that's pretty much it. So I want to thank you guys so much for listening. Today was 118. That's it, guys. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Please give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platforms you guys will listen on. Other than that, peace out, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you stay disciplined. I am your host, Scott, and stay disciplined. get that daily discipline done in today of getting scheduled. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to start getting some schedules in right now as we speak. I'll see you guys tomorrow.